Welcome to It's Your Business, a program designed to highlight our local small businesses. I'm your host, Veronica Douglas. Need help choosing a frame for your favorite piece of artwork? Let Picture Worth Custom Framing help you. Picture Worth Custom Framing is an award-winning, premier, full-service wall decor and awards supplier headquartered in Spring. Joining us today is Keith Johnson, Special Projects Manager.
How's it going, Veronica?
Welcome, Keith. It's such a pleasure to have you.
Thanks for having us.
Well, let's start off by telling us a little bit about your business. How did you get started?
Well, we got started because my wife, who's a master framer, she's been doing framing almost all her life since she was 17, and she was just looking to make some extra money, and she ended up at Michael's and started her journey from there.
Mm-hmm.
So
who are some of your clients?
Some of our top clients in the industry right now, without name dropping too bad, we have a couple of celebrity moms like Andre Johnson's mom comes and does a lot of stuff, and we also help her out with some community event stuff. And we have some bigger clients like Gringos. That's all I'll say on that one. I don't want to give everybody too much information out there.
And how many years have you been in business?
We've been in business for 7.5 years.
Mm-hmm. And so, on-site services,
Mm-hmm.
You're located in Spring, as we said earlier. What type of services are you providing on-site?
On-site, so at the storefront location, we actually do awards and we do our custom framing. And we also do promotional products when necessary.
Mm-hmm.
So we can handle all three of those for any of our clients.
And what type of method do you prefer to have customers come into your operation? Do you have an appointment tool, am I correct?
We do. We have an appointment tool. You can set your appointment. We have folks travel in from far and wide, almost hours away. Some folks will say, and they'll actually say it's worth it.
And so an appointment is not necessary, right?
It's not necessary, but it's definitely something that you'd probably want to reserve your appointment spot, just because we had a situation where we had somebody come in from Galveston, and they were like, look, I drove all the way from Galveston. And there was somebody that said, look, what are you complaining for? I drove all the way from Midway.
Wow.
So, one was an hour and some change away, and another one was almost 2 hours away. So.
Wow. Well, in your store, how many frames do you actually have on site that customers can choose from?
We have more than 1,000 frames on the wall. So we have 1,000 frames and 1,000 mats to go with it because we service the residential and commercial clients.
And when you say frames, we're talking about a variety of materials. Are they wood frames, metal frames, and thickness?
Mm-hmm. Wood frames, metal frames, and the latest stuff that we don't really recommend, but we sell it anyway, is what's called polystyrene. Mm-hmm. It's like a foam frame. Mm-hmm. Very decorative. You can usually get a bigger frame, cheaper price.
Well, while we're talking about frames, tell us a little bit about a float frame.
So a float frame, just like this one right here, is two pieces of glass, whether it's conservation glass or it's museum glass, wedged between the two pieces of glass and the picture wedged between the two of them and placed in a frame.
And in that particular float frame, you received an award. Tell us about the award.
So this one, to go with this award, was our Super Bowl award that we received from the Super Bowl 51, I believe it was, that came to Houston. And we were the MVP supplier of that event, the Business Connect.
And what did you supply them with?
Well, actually, we didn't get to supply them. What it was for was the tech that we were going to do. We were going to unlock all of their banners and have NFL players come out and introduce everybody to the city of Houston.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, we didn't have enough time to do all of their banners and signage. So they said, you know what, it's not your fault. We held the pitch at like the 6-month mark, and you guys pretty much needed a year for us to be comfortable with the outcome. So instead of half baking it, you guys would have had a major contract. We're going to honor you anyway.
And you also received first place in the Capital One business pitch competition.
Yes, ma'am. So for the first time in their existence, they mentioned that there were 3 perfect scores for the Capital One business pitch in this year of 2017. And my wife and 2 other finalists all got perfect scores.
And a program like the Capital One Business Pitch, how has that helped you to build and grow your business?
So the Capital One Business Pitch program helped us realize what changes we could immediately make. And it was a good eye opener for locking processes down and stuff like that.
So the framework that you guys are performing, is that done in-house or do you sub that work out?
No, ma'am. It's all done in-house. So we have production saws, we have mat cutters, we have computer mat cutters, we have everything that we need to perform everything in-house.
And what is a typical turnaround time on having just maybe an 8.5 by 11 photo or piece of artwork framed?
We can do it as fast as 24 hours. So we can do it as fast as 24 hours, but of course we have a lot of folks that have come to us from different places. So typically our lead time right now is 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay, and let's talk a little bit about the different types of glass that's used. What type of glass do you recommend for somebody that wants to hang some artwork in possibly a place that has a lot of sunlight?
So a lot of sunlight would definitely take a non-glare. It's a non-glare coated glass. It dumbs down some of the light so that you don't get a big reflection or glare back. And opposed to the non-glare, you can also use museum glass, which is almost virtually see-through.
And you all, when customers come in, you're able to show them and talk to them about this. Free consultations, I'm assuming.
Yes.
And so when we are looking at the glass, does it make a difference if the photo is canvas or if it's just a regular piece of photography? Does that make a difference when you're framing something in regards to the glass?
Yes, because when you're dealing with the different materials, there's different techniques and different things that you do. So with a picture, a lot of times you put spacers in between the glass to ensure that it's not sitting directly against the glass. In this particular case, we did not use spacers because it's our own picture, so we just stuck it in there. And as you can see, some of the humidity got on it and it stuck to the glass. So once it adheres to the glass, you can't get it off the glass unless you take a high resolution photo and redo it.
So are you able to restore old photographs or artwork if customers bring it in?
Absolutely. So
And what does that process look like?
there's a lot of retouching. So we have Photoshop, and we do a lot of retouching down to the pixel level.
So do you have to have that photo electronic? You can use a hard copy photo. You're able to restore any picture if somebody brings it in to,
Pretty much any picture.
and it'll take, you said lead time is about 3 weeks?
About 3 weeks. So we do high resolution scan. If it's original, we've had clients have their stuff stuck to anything, and we usually take a high resolution photo of it, and then we digitally reproduce it for them. So we have the digital way of the old analog stuff that's sitting there that's original, and then we have the digital stuff that we can also work with a lot easier.
So how have you seen artwork change, your customers' environments?
Artwork it's the difference between seeing somebody with like a mouth full of teeth that are missing. Artwork it's the design that brings life to any set, anything, pretty much. You can, it's beautification. So without beautification, we're all just plain.
So how much of a role does the color of a wall play in regards to choosing a frame? When you're helping your customers decide what frame to choose, if, say you go out to their location, does the color of the wall really make a difference when we're looking at the color of the frame that we're going to choose, or is it more about the picture itself?
It's more about the picture itself, but we do recommend, we'll try to keep, if a client says, I'm going to put this in an area that has a darker wall or something like that, we'll take that into consideration when we're framing their piece. But more often than not, we tell them to frame for the piece instead of framing for the environment.
Because it's changeable, more you can
Exactly.
change it easier.
Exactly.
So let me ask you this question, Keith. Tell me how you're different than Hobby Lobby and Michael's.
So for us, our pricing strategy is dramatically different. We're true. We honor veterans with 30% discount, as well as our first responders, and we honor teachers with a 20% discount.
So you giving discounts to anybody that is doing public service? Not anyone, veteran, teacher, first responder. And today you did bring with you a mask that you framed.
We did. So we brought this at the French Market. This is a mask that it has musical notes and everything. It's almost like a Mardi Gras themed mask. And we put some conservation matting behind it along with a fillet.
Now, is that a wood frame or is that actually metal? No,
it's a wood frame. It's a wood frame and it's got suede matting behind it with a fillet.
And this is just one example of things that can be framed.
Yes, ma'am.
What other types of things do you see come into Picture Worth Custom Framing that you're getting framed, that people are asking to have framed?
So one of the largest things we've framed is a spacesuit. We did a couple of spacesuits for MD Anderson. And it's framing. Most people are like, a spacesuit. But it goes in an acrylic box. It's just like a ginormous shadow box. Most of our residential clients will bring in mementos or memorabilia. That's like we had somebody, a lot of memorial stuff. So if somebody passes away or something like that for somber occasions, and also for great occasions like football season's coming up. You know, somebody wants to put J.J. Watt jersey in their man cave or something like that. We get a variety of different things, and stitcheries, and just stuff that some of our competitors don't do. We enjoy being that one-stop source to be able to handle it all.
So artwork such as memorabilia, maybe it's J.J. Watt's jersey or maybe it's a football. How do you hang the artwork in public places where it's not going to get stolen? Is there a way to hang artwork to prevent it from theft?
There is. There's security hooks that go on the back, and there's two main types of security hooks, but the main type that we end up using for like the hospitals and some of the other stuff that we're doing for the restaurants, it's like a T-square. It goes in, and it's a T that goes into a slot and locks. So the T is actually behind the hole, and when you try to pull it, it doesn't pull.
It acts like a key.
Acts just like a key, and you actually need a key to unlock it.
Oh, wow.
So if you don't have this specialized key, you can't just take regular tools and get behind it and do it. You actually have to have a key.
And what is your website address? Because I know you have a store online.
Yes, ma'am. It's www.picworthc, C as in Charlie, F as in Foxtrot.com. That's pickworthcf.com, and that's our informational site. And then we have the ability to purchase art online at pictureworthcf.com.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, I want to talk about some of the more prestigious awards that you guys have created for your customers, as well as the off-site services that you offer.
Sounds good.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we will continue our conversation with Key, who is a special projects manager with Picture Worth Custom Framing.
HCC. So many locations. So little tuition. Register today at hccs.edu/now.
We have academic programs that help students get from high school into a university. And the data is very clear that students that take the path of a community college finish in far higher numbers than students that start straight into a university experience. Our students can achieve a baccalaureate degree in multiple fields from the universities in the area without ever leaving Houston Community College.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
I've seen people's lives change just by attending a class at HCC.
Some of them might not have the financial means to go to a 4-year university. That doesn't make them any less quote-unquote smart than the kids who go to a 4-year school.
HCC is easy to get to. It's easy to apply and easy to become a part of.
It gave me so much confidence.
Once you finish your 2 years there, you can transition into a four-year university or go into the workforce.
It's affordable, it's accessible, it changes lives.
HCC. So many careers, so little tuition. Register today at hccs.edu/now.
Welcome back. We're going to finish our conversation with Keith. And we left off, we were talking about some measurements that are put in place so that there's not theft with artwork. And you mentioned like a lock and key type of device that you provide with the artwork. Now, as the installation, do you perform the installation?
We subcontract the installation.
So the customer needs to worry about nothing. You're
Customer
going to
needs to
make
worry about
sure that
nothing.
they pick their artwork up, and if they need some help installing, you're going to make sure that they have it.
Absolutely. So we have a couple of companies that we work with that are bonded and insured in case any catastrophe happens. But anytime we're doing restaurants or anything like that, we subcontract to our selected few that we have that we trust.
And tell us a little bit about the award that you brought today, and it's something that you're doing that nobody else in the market is doing. So
we
tell us about the award.
We have the acrylic shadow box frame, and the reason that we're specialty on this one is because most award shops, they can do the acrylic, but they can't afford the framing to go with it almost at a very reduced cost. So since we control cost, we can get the acrylic to go inside the box, and we control the cost of the frame, and we can make it very reasonable for you.
That's really nice, and that's nothing that I have ever seen before. And this is going to be an award for, something that's extra special.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
So
ma'am.
you're going to walk away with the certificate and the award, and you're going to be able to have it for a lifetime.
For a lifetime.
That is really, really
For a
great.
lifetime, and we can customize it pretty much any way you want. So if you want LED lighting inside, if you want the app interaction to show a more detailed story on what the event was and what have you, that's something that's absolutely possible. Any size, any shape that you would like, we're able to do it.
And what would you say has been your most challenging project that that you framed? Somebody's brought in something and you framed it. What's been the most challenging project?
The most challenging so far has definitely been the spacesuits, because you're hoisting over 200-pound piece of plexi box up in the air, and you have to get it over the top of this spacesuit that's standing there. So it's you got to use equipment lifts and everything to get the plexi box in the air.
Wow.
And yeah, it's interesting.
How long did that take?
It took us about 4 hours.
Wow.
To get on site, set up, and get to moving with it. But the last one we did took us about 2.5 hours.
Well, you also brought something else with us that actually your family created for you.
I
Tell us
did.
a little bit about the frame and the process, and tell us a little bit about the art.
So my kids surprised me with this one. They wanted to show, I guess, how long I've been doing my primary job as dad.
Aw.
So I was pretty amazed. I absolutely loved the design. And they just asked me what frame I wanted. They're like, what frame would you like if we did something for you? So I thought it was extra special, and I totally forgot about these pictures. So I was like, oh my gosh, I have been a dad for 25 plus years.
And so, framing things really makes a difference and makes an impact, and people receive those gifts,
Yes,
and they
ma'am.
really feel special. So when we receive things that can be framed, we should really consider framing them so that we can keep them for a lifetime.
So you can keep it for a lifetime. A lot of people have their degrees in a box, in a shoe box or something like that. It kind of says what you think of your degree. You work pretty hard. It's the most expensive piece of paper you've probably gotten in your life. And a lot of people have it in their shoe box. So we just wonder about that. Art is a very secretive society. It's it's one of those that appreciates and almost never depreciates. So folks that are well off, that are wealthy, already know that one of the secrets to success is real estate and art. If you ask them, they will tell you real estate and art. You know, it's the biggest secret on the planet almost is art.
Well, are there any questions that, you know, our viewers should ask before they take something in to get framed? What do we need to know when we come in to see you? What do we need to be prepared to ask you, and what do we need to be prepared to answer?
So if they want to be, if they ever want to find out how the operation goes, they can ask, is the company on quotas? You know, that's a good one to start off with. Most people don't think about it, but some of the big box retailers actually have quotas on there. They have to upsell. They have to sell you at least 2 to 3 inches of matting to make sure. And if they don't, their employees get written up. We have no such policies. We frame for the clients. So the residential clients, the commercial clients that we have, we frame exactly for them. But you can ask them how many years of experience they have doing this. We got our start at Michael's, so we understand, you know, that we've done our mistakes and everything, but we got our mistakes from a big box retailer. Unfortunately, you don't want to have your stuff end up at a big box retailer with somebody that's inexperienced but working on it.
So tell us about some of the latest technology in framing.
Latest technology, we're on cutting edge on the latest technology in framing with our app interaction called Uncover, and it allows augmented reality interface with the artwork, and it's mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing.
And how does that work? What do you need from your customer? Just the picture and a story? How does that work?
We need pictures and whatever story they want to tell. Some of them have little snippets of video and everything, and we do all of our in-house production and craft it into a absolutely phenomenal memorable.
And if somebody wants to see what this looks like, how can they see this? I know I viewed it on YouTube. Is there another way that somebody can look at this technology?
We almost reserve it for the folks that are in our storefront because there's a lot of competition out there that are trying to mimic what we're doing. So we almost reserve it exclusively for the folks at our storefront location.
So come into the storefront if you want to learn more.
If you want to learn more, we'll gladly, show you in person.
And also on your website, you have a very, intuitive website, but you have a virtual framing studio.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So the virtual framing studio is provided by one of our vendors, Larson Jewell, and we're able to take a frame and take your picture and give you a rough idea of how it's going to look in its completed form. Wow.
And you can do that just all online, just access it through the website many times as you want to do it?
Many times as you want to do it. So folks even at home, we put it out there to where the folks at home can even take their picture and upload it and start tinkering around so that they get an idea before they even come to us to reduce some of the time.
Wow. Well, let's stop talking about framing for a little bit and let's talk about some of the awards that you offer. What type of awards do you offer? Acrylic type of awards?
So we have acrylics, we have crystals, we have pretty much every award that the major competitors in the awards sector could give out.
And online as well to shop or come into your office?
We have a selection online that's very reduced compared to the selection that we have in the storefront location.
So online?
Yeah, online there's a decent selection that's out there online, but we don't have everything that we have access to the storefront and some of the catalogs that we have.
And promotional products as well should go online for those?
Actually, we haven't put the promotional products online yet. We're still doing those in-house in the storefront location, but that's coming soon.
Okay. But you also perform services at your client's location?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about those.
We've done some on-site installations. We've done on-site repairs and stuff like that. Our work is warranted for the life of the piece. So as long as it's not in a fire or something like that we didn't cause, we warranty our work. So we have done several installations downtown for some of our residents and some of the condominium-style luxury suites where they can't fit the artwork through the doorway. We'll do 7 foot by 7 foot picture going on your wall, you're going to need an on-site installation because your plexi and everything will not fit through the door in its regular form. So you got to bring it in piece by piece and do an on-site installation.
But you guys also have photography services that you offer as well, correct?
Yes, ma'am. So we have a suite right now that we've almost completely finished developing, where our photographers can come in and out of our storefront location and shoot on site.
Now, for your customers when you come out to my location, if I don't quite know what I want, I don't quite know what type of frame I want, can you help me with that?
Absolutely, can help you with that. So typically, if you've got a picture or something like that you just want some ideas, we could send it back to home base, and home base can give you some mock-ups and some general idea of what you're wanting to do. And we can also walk you through doing some of the virtual framing online.
And you also have video consultations.
Yes, ma'am.
That are available.
Yes. So you can do, for the Uncover service, if you're wanting to do your augmented reality overlay on your piece, on your artwork, the video consultation is free. We don't charge for it. And we just usually ask that the client keeps it to probably 2 to 3 minutes so that your arm doesn't fall off on you.
Well, you are a family-owned and operated business. You and your wife own the business. How do you manage to, continue to work always on your business and not in the business? I mean, I'm sure that there are some challenges that you have overcome when working with your family. Tell us about your team and tell us about the challenges and how you overcome those.
The team is, so myself, I do special projects. Melissa's one of our master framers. Damien does a lot, my son Damien, he does a lot of the photoshopping, the retouching, and everything. He's got his own company called Uncover Studios inside of our company. So he's got his own little office and everything, does his own consultations and everything. Mr. Bill is another one of our lead framers. We have on production framing, we have Mr. Alex Bayan, and my mother Mary has just recently joined us along with my daughter. My daughter is there periodically when she's out of school, but my mother Mary has just recently joined us.
So what marketing techniques do you use? Are you on Twitter, Facebook?
We're on all major social media platforms. So I think our Pinterest said we had 134,000 monthly viewers or something like that. So, and it fluctuates. So it goes anywhere from 30,000 to 150,000 in a month. So we don't know what causes it totally, but it's our content mixed with the way we put our SEO keywords and everything around it. But we're on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook, Twitter. Pinterest is one of our biggest because, of course, it's pictures, so people get to see ideas.
I love Pinterest.
And people love it. Instagram, pretty much every. Am I forgetting one? Yeah.
You're on everything, huh?
We're on pretty much everything.
So in closing, tell our viewers why they should use Picture Worth Custom Framing.
Picture Worth Custom Framing is for you. So we're for the residents and we're for the commercial clients out there. We are 100% family owned and operated, as Veronica mentioned, and you don't have to worry about your artwork or any awards or anything. We have over 100 years of combined experience in our location.
That's wonderful.
We're spreading out to online, and we're pretty much going to be everywhere we can be.
Well, thanks, Keith, for coming in. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I look forward to doing business with you in the future.
Thank you, Veronica. I appreciate it.
For more information on HCC Small Business Development Program, please visit our website or follow us on Twitter at HCCSBDP.